me!
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us tonight on another episode of Monday Night Slot Car Live. Where tonight we go live with the community, and tonight we have a conversation. If you're a Canadian, you're going to want to listen up. If you're an AFX fan, you're going to want to get closer. And hey, if you're just a plain old fan of slot cars in general, you've definitely fallen upon the right place. I want to thank you for joining us today. Before we get going, I'll just introduce the people who will be with us tonight on the panel, and we'll take a look at who's in the comments tonight. So beside me on the top row is Tim, and he runs TJG Slot Cars. He's a Canadian slot car salesperson, so Canadian HO people. Tim is your man, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But for now, thank you very much for being here, Tim. And to Tim's right, or left, depending on where you are, you'll find Robert Fish. Robert Fish, the amount of knowledge this fellow knows about slot cars totally blows me away. That's what makes Robert Fish my slot car guru. And he's also partner with the TJ&G slot cars. Below me, we have Steve from BS Slot Cars, our Shen RC. He's here to talk about AFX and track size and other slot car stuff. So, Steve, thanks for being here tonight, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And, of course, besides Steve, we have Canada's very own Carrera dealer, Sunday Slot Cars. Billy and Amanda, thank you very much for joining us once again. Fantastic. And we'll get their opinion and how they've been dealing with buying their product. As a Canadian for their store. So here we are, and let's get going. So Araras Carrera, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Short list today, so we'll get going. It looks like everyone's going to be falling in as we get going, but that's all good too. Claude, thank you very much. And Claude got a hold of me when we were talking about the tire truers and cleaners and stuff. Claude got a hold of me and said he possibly may have a design that he wants me to have a look at and try out. It's going to be really cheap. It's the kind of thing that if you don't want to spend tons of cash, and believe me, I really don't want to spend tons of cash because I don't know if I need anything more than really sandpaper on holding the car on the track kind of thing. Seems to work kind of good, but I think I could do with something a little more realistic when it comes to that. So Claude's going to make me something, and he's going to send it to me. I'm going to try it out, and if the price is right, of course it will be, and the product is good, I'll be showing it, and it will be up for offer. So there you go. So we're all good there. I just want to let you guys know that I'll sort of be testing out that product for Claude, and we'll see how it goes. So for Claude, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. Baby Pop, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate that, and hi to you. And of course, it definitely wouldn't be a slot car show of Slot Valley Racings without having my longest member, Donald Mason. Thank you very much, brother. I absolutely appreciate it. Big time. Thank you. Tom from No Drama Slots. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you being here tonight. Definitely. Dan from 3 Bean Raceway. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it, brother. Absolutely awesome. Doug, as usual, another Canadian in the house, so it's good to see. Yeah, Canadian night for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So there we go. So that covers pretty much every. Who did we just lose? Oh, Robert. Robert disappeared. Okay, so I guess he's like a magician. He'll reappear right away. So before we get going, the first thing I'd like to mention is AFX has a few new cars out. So I can put those. Let me try and do it this way. Okay, so if you look at the ticker, AFX has put out or pardon me, will be putting out the Blues Brother car with the speaker in August, part of the silver screens. And they are going to be putting out the John Wick cars, the Chevelle and the Charger. That'll be part of this silver screens edition, Cars and Coffee. And AFX will be putting out cars with the Brock Racing livery on them. They'll be coming out in June. So this is very good news for people in the HO industry. We've been waiting for cars with real liveries on them, and I guess finally somebody listened. So it's really good that these sort of things do happen every once in a while. I don't know if somebody came up with a great idea they heard through somebody's video, but it just feels a little bit old already. But hey, we're here and we're putting liveries back on the cars again. So that's absolutely fantastic. All right. So let's get to the first subject. Because this is a Canadian-oriented show, I want to start off with let's start off with Robert. Robert, where did you buy your last slot car from? The last slot car, where did it come from? I don't mean from your partner. I mean outside of that.
It actually came off of eBay, but it was a really, really cheap buy. It's the only car I bought all year last year. It was a Lifelike car.
Right.
As you know, they're not terribly popular with HO fans for some reason. But I got a deal on it I couldn't refuse. So.
And where was it from? You said eBay?
Yeah, it was from eBay. It came from someplace in, I think, the Western U.S. But yeah,
right.
Got it through eBay.
Okay, and for myself, just about everything I buy from eBay comes from, everything I buy from HO comes from the United States. Certainly, the importance of slot cars to Canadians is much more. You can say it's severely understated. Companies are not putting in the work to figure out what's going on. It's easy to push things just by having free advertising. Great creators make lots of free advertisements for these companies. It would be nice, to have, even if it were just sort of like a working relationship where these cars are being put out and then creators are being sought to make videos for said cars. I think would be more of a better way to do things, but the way things are happening now, it's actually kind of comical. Cars that aren't here are here, and anyways, so as Canadians, we have a bit of a problem sourcing our slot cars inside our country. Most of our cars come from out of the country, and almost 90% of the time it will be definitely the United States. Now, Canada doesn't have a distributor for AFX slot cars, unbelievably. I guess it's been an afterthought for a long time. But for this kind of thing, it's really easy for AFX to latch on to somebody who's creating content and pushing product in that country. But those type of things never happen, and so therefore there's a sort of a foot dragging effect where everything gets held back while they're busy in other areas. I get that. I completely get it. But if you're not making an effort in one area, then you're only working on the other area, and it makes no sense whatsoever that you leave a whole entire area blind. It's kind of crazy to me. It's sort of like leaving, one stone unturned. It seems kind of silly to me, but so for Billy and Amanda, tell us, so you're a Carrera dealer in Ontario. tell us about sort of, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about what's involved for you getting your slot cars, if you don't mind.
We just switched distributors, so
Oh.
we're getting Carrera from a Canadian distributor now.
Oh,
and we'll be getting some other brands in soon too. So it won't just be just Carrera slot cars we're selling. We'll be selling some other brands as well.
Are you gonna share, or are you gonna keep that secret?
Well, I'll share. So we'll be getting in some Skolectra cars. I'm really going to be doing like the movie cars to start with,
right?
And then we're going to be doing some Light Hawk cars as well. So now you'll have some more choice.
So okay, so I guess now that you're not dealing with the old dealer, can you tell us how that trip would go? Because that sort of brings exactly why we're all here today, why you now have a new distributor, right? Because of everything you had to do leading to the point where you sold your slot cars in Canada.
Yeah. Well, I emailed the Canadian distributor the product list, and then I get it sent to me.
No, the American before when you were.
Okay,
American.
I'll talk about the American. That's what he wants to know, right? The American.
Yeah.
Trip. Okay. So, oh man, that was so tough. Okay, so first off, I gotta say, if you are like any distance away from the border, just forget it. Like, it's not gonna be worth it for you. Amanda and I this was completely unplanned, but like we're located like 5 minutes away from the border, so it costs us like nothing in gas.
Right.
So in order to get so first off, oh my gosh, guys, it's gotten so complicated.
He's PTSD right now.
Oh my gosh, do I ever have PTSD? So first off, before you could just use a passport and go through, you have to go through the trucking lane. You can't go through. If you're gonna do this for a store, you can't go through the civilian lane. Other problem you're gonna have. You need a transponder now. Before you didn't. If you were a small business, you could just have your business license on you, and then you could just go across the border. No, right. Now America needs all commercial drivers to have a transponder. So you have to buy an infrared transponder, go through all the trucking procedures. You're going to need to get either customs broker. So even though you're bringing it over yourself, you'll need a customs broker, or you can, customs broker can get it delivered to your house, but like that's another can of worms. Let's forget about that. If you're going to do it yourself, you need to have what's those
to fill
codes?
the B3
yeah,
form.
The B3 form, but you have to have all the different like import codes.
I want to add a correction. You didn't pay for the transponder. You paid for your one time to go across, and you still had
to apply for the transponder. So it's still paperwork to get that transponder, and then you have to pay the taxes on everything you're importing. You had to set up an account with Carrera, which is done now. If you're Canadian, you have to go through their Canadian distribution now. And that was just a lot of steps. Like, I know there's some Canadians that are selling AFX, like Canadian stores, but they're probably doing something similar where they're going to have. So we had in order to get it to the States, we had to have a parcel pickup. So we had some people might have a PO box over there, different ways of getting it over there, but we had a parcel place we would get it sent to. It's actually a really in-depth process, and like I said, I don't know if it's gonna. You'd have to order a lot for it to be worth your time if you're going to be crossing the border.
Right.
And when you say a lot, what's the dollar figure you're talking about? $20,000, $40,000, $50,000?
Oh, okay.
We were spending about $5-6 grand on orders,
something like that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, yeah, I'd say, well, to me, okay, so you need to understand when you're just starting out, you want to start off with something like maybe $2 or $3 grand. But in order for it to be worth it, you have to get enough for, I'd say, half a year supply. So you'd get enough to last until Christmas time, and then Christmas time is pretty much everything throughout the year. Like, that's how it is for me. So everything I'd sell from, we'll say, January to October, you get the same amount, and then you'll sell that in Christmas season. So
the reason you went to Carrera is because you knew there was going to be a distributor in Canada, or that it was a product that you just
there was no distributor in Canada.
We could sell this because we like the product.
Yeah, I sell it because I like the product. Now we did try, like I said before, we had tried contacting some other slot cars before, some other slot car manufacturers, but they never got back to us. Now we have more avenues open to us. That's why we're able to order different brands. So I mean, it's always just good to have more choice. You can get the conversion chips for Skeletra cars to work on Carrera track, and there's a lot of like switch boxes being made now too. So there's the market opened up for us to want to carry that as well. And the 143rd cars should work on the Carrera Go track, like the Lighthawk cars. They should work on Carrera Go. I have to read over the email they had sent me, but yeah,
now,
looking good.
Does Carrera have a satellite warehouse in Canada? Did they ship to the warehouse or just ship directly to you from the United States?
They'll ship to the warehouse. We'll call it the distributor. I'm not sure how the Canadian distributor actually works, but they ship it to the Canadian distributor now. Before, what would happen is, like I said, we had a parcel pickup on our names that we would go across the states to pick up for. So I'd bring the van, I'd put the pallet in the van, and then I would head over to the Canadian Customs and deal with that.
Wow.
Well, it saved people money. It was good. I'm not saying our price, I'm not sure how the new prices are going to be, but they shouldn't be too bad. But it was mainly because if you were using a customs broker, oh my gosh, if we were using a customs broker, like you can expect quite a bit of a price hike.
Right.
So it's nice. It's good because it creates more competition in Canada, because now we're all kind of more on an even playing field. Because before, man and I were cheesing it. I'm not going to lie.
Right on.
How long have you guys been doing this?
Over 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over 5 years. We'll say.
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware that the Liberal government put a moratorium on importing any goods from the United States. You were allowed to bring, before 2017, you could bring $3,300 or less in without being dutied on it. No questions asked. And Trudeau put a moratorium on that. And really, he's really in the focus right now to destroy small businesses. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Well, I don't think we were dealing with any kind of extra
No, we
fees.
were just paying GST, and then that's an HST input credit, so that didn't really affect us. It's more of an upfront cost, but you get it back later.
So Amanda had run some businesses on her old job before, so she kind of knows tricks.
Just knows what to
what to do. Yeah, what to do. She knows
knowledge.
what to do.
Oh
Gosh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so there was something else that was brought up too during the week about it's been brought up many times, but for AFX wise, the major problem lately has been the size of the cars. It's becoming to a point now where it's almost impossible to put two cars side by side, and I just wanted to show two cars on the track side by side.
Oh, that hurt my soul.
You can clearly see that, and normal playing card, AFX. Ready? It's not touching the track yet. The two cars have pinched it.
So it's safe to say that research and development didn't take that into consideration.
Well, I would have to say, if I was whoever develops these cars, seriously, yeah, and I just wanted to be fair. I just wanted to be fair about it, because everybody says, "Oh, the new cars." Okay, so here, you see these two cars in the back? They're not new. The car barely fits through there. So from these cars to these cars, the car no longer fits.
They'll have to relaunch it as a scrape and paint series.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So, and and really, when you consider too that the pin is bouncing about 2 mil side to side in the slot, consider that too. When I just put that card in there, I have the cards lined up in the middle of that slot and they're touching. Okay. So what happens if one card's on the left side of the slot and the other card's on the right side of the slot? In their own lanes, of course. That just means they're now 2 mil over top of each other in their own lanes. It's not, let's just say it's a scenario that's going to have to be addressed. And I'm really hoping the wheelbase on the F1s do not match the wheelbase on these cars.
So I
That'll
think
be
it
the
would,
scraping wheel series.
I think it would
Right.
be safe to say now that that's about the size of a micro scale electrics car now, really. Or
So what has to happen is the scale has to come down a little bit because we've lost the 164 scale big time. There are the 170, 78, however you want to look at it. I mean, there's many ways of looking at it. These are really HO. HO is 64, but 78 is what the...
So it's not the chassis, it's the body.
It's the body. It's totally the body.
it's going towards 172nd now, really.
Somebody asked me, well, is it because the chassis is too big? You can clearly see.
Yeah.
Look at all that space.
Yeah.
Right? They're not pinched for room here at all. There's lots of room there. They could suck that in easily.
And
Look,
draw the axles in a bit.
suck it in. Suck it in. Look at, I can squish it in.
And there's no more detail in one of those cars than you find in an automobile car.
Right.
Despite what AFX says, they're doing
Right.
detail. It's not true.
You see, ideally, I've said this before, I think the ideal scale is like 172. Okay?
Exactly.
164 is a tad too big. 187 is a tad too small because that's like HO train, I believe. But altogether, that ends up, yeah. So I don't know. I just wanted to make mention of that. Steve had made mention of it when he was racing and looking at the size of the cars. Steve has quite a bit of time in the slot car racing industry with clubs and stuff, and he actually we've talked about this before, and it's sort of been put to the side, but Steve brought it to my attention again, and I believe Steve's got like a T-Jet here up against the new AFX.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah.
This one here is how they started with this width of track. The cars were supposed to be this size.
Right.
Then they made them this big. And you could see, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you see
Wow,
that?
wow,
Look at though.
wow.
Look at the size of the chassis. The chassis are both the same size. It's the shell that's taken off with AFX. Turn them around one more time, Steve. Show the chassis.
Oh, the bottom.
Yeah. Look at the width of the chassis. They're exactly the same.
Watch
AFX
this.
just puts another 2 or 3 mil on each side of that, and suddenly it's become too much. Sure, let's have well, why not? You got it? Let's test it. What do you got?
I'm just going to lock this out. I'm not even going to measure it. I'm just going to lock it out. Now look at the original car. That's tight on the new one.
Oh, okay.
That's how much space you had left when you ran two cars double that on the track.
Right.
So that would be spaced apart when you're racing. But now they're hitting together.
And of course, you need a little drift room,
Yeah.
right? No car follows the exact line on the track.
So what do you think was AFX mindset when they decided to do that? Like, did they just figure they wanted to be different than what was out before, come up with something new? Because quite obviously they didn't race those cars.
I just feel like they weren't paying attention.
The excuse
I have to agree with Billy there too. I think it was an oversight. They look good. Nobody said, "Hey, let's put a few of them together on the track."
when I pressed Brian Young for an answer to that very question, he said that AFX said it was for detail.
Well, okay.
They're making them bigger so they can detail them better, which is, like I said a few seconds ago, or minutes ago, it's a crock because you look at the Auto World cars; they're every bit as detailed as any of those
Well, you know,
cars.
the mentality behind that, the 132nds look way better than the HOs.
Yeah.
They really do.
If you
Yeah.
want to talk detail, yeah.
You mean
No,
for
they're-
detail? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think the 132nd blow away HO when it comes to looks.
Right. Yeah, but then again, inside the 132nd, there are cars that will blow away the Carrera cars too, right? Like the detail wise too. So
then
there's
you have
cars that have gone even
That's
further.
true. That's true. But like the Carrera cars are really low price compared to other brands too. Like if you want a
Yeah.
more high detail car, you're
Yeah.
paying for it. But AFX, you're almost getting like a 132nd at the price AFX charges. So
Right.
Yeah,
now you
I
want
could
to
buy a
look at
Carrera over here, the 132nd, for the same price or less than what these are.
yeah,
These G pluses are like 35 for the cheapest, right? And they go up to like 40. You could get a Carrera for 35 here.
yeah.
See that?
Yeah, you see-
I mean,
And
that's
nothing.
huge.
This is like a joke.
That's
Well,
huge.
it's
So
detailed
I think
HO cars.
there's been a disconnect in the HO market. I think
Yeah.
132nd is gaining market share because of their
Right.
inability to address the market steadily. And it seems to me that and I've only been this in a short time for about just under a year, but in the United States, who handle and control this market, they're not friendly to each other. The guys that are distributing the same product really aren't helping each other at all. There's a disconnect there, and I don't understand why. Canadians aren't like that.
Right.
You know, I'm quite positive that in my experience in Canada, when you do business, there's a support system where if you're selling the same product, there's some allegiance there where you're not going to have somebody come out and blow all their cars at a way lower price to hurt everybody,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
Canadians are better business people in way in respecting the process.
I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of the prices in Canada kind of end up the same because there's not as much small business. So I mean, when you see somebody selling something for a higher price than you, you actually might be more tempted to match their price.
Well, yeah, right.
Like because there's just not as much competition. It's just like, well, I mean, what you're trying to make money. You're like, what can I get away with?
Right.
But America, like they're all cutthroat because they have so much. There's more distributing options. There's more companies. Like not all the slot car companies are up here in Canada. Like you're saying, AFX isn't really here, so it's just like, well, I mean, I don't know, I don't even know what's here for HO. I don't even know if there's anything. But let's say Auto World was up here. We're all pretty much gonna. I mean, unless you're new and want to get some attention, you'll be pretty much.
You hit the nail on the head, and the thing is, Canada's not recognized as a viable marketplace in the United States. We are really the redheaded stepchild when it comes to retail, right? They've always said that when the United States gets a cold, Canada gets pneumonia. That trickles down through business. We don't get a lot of respect up here. And on that point, I've talked to a retailer, a hobby shop that sells 132nd NHO. They deal with a broker. They don't even deal, and they've got 5 stores, and they don't even deal direct with an AFX representative or an Auto World representative or a Carrera or Scale Electric in Europe. They just go. They're dealing, and their prices are ridiculously high. And they don't sell a lot. But
that's because they got a broker.
You're right. But my point is, here's my mission. I got to share it with you guys. When I started getting interested in, not only because I had slot cars when I was a kid, and I'm 65 and I want something to do, and I had money to do, to play around with, I thought, how do we get cars into Canada that are at a price point where Canadians would say, well, this is a great hobby, I'll get into it, not look at it and go, oh man,
right,
$60 a car, and for a little car the size of a Hot Wheel that sells for $2, that mentality, because the car's got a motor in it and they got to pay $60 for it. We've got guys 40 to 70 years old that are interested in. None of the young generation even know what a slot car is.
Not anymore, man. That's for
It's
sure.
true.
And it's too bad because I've given sets to families that had 6-year-olds, and they were over the moon with these race tracks and these cars. They loved them.
Right?
But then now he wants more cars. He's got to go through me because there's nowhere in Canada. He can't go to a store and buy them.
No, that's
Right.
my
And that
problem
is
too,
another
right?
thing that hurts the market.
Mm-hmm.
It could grow a lot faster if it was more easily accessible for the generation to go and shop.
Right.
So they like the internet, so websites are really important.
Okay, hang on, Tim. That leads me to the next part. All right. So hang tight. So before we go there, I just want to let's do this. I just want to thank everybody for bringing me to this point. I absolutely appreciate it. And I absolutely thank everybody for your support. So without your support, I would have never have gotten to this point.
Is million maybe? Half a million.
So thank you all for being part of that. I absolutely appreciate it. And boy, is it a good feeling knowing that 500,000 people or views of your video. It's pretty big when you think about it. So I wanted to thank everybody. So thank you, everybody. Moving right along brings me to Tim. Tim, so carry on, Tim. What's
Okay, so my mission is strictly HO, because you got to start and pick your slot, pick your place, right?
Yeah.
And I thought,
Absolutely.
okay, everybody can. Well, everyone probably has enough real estate to at least have a small HO track, whether you're a small family or a big family. My target is to bring HO cars in at an affordable price where somebody can sustain the hobby, not just the retired guys who've got tons of dough in their pocket. Young families that want to bring a new toy in, get their kids off the video games and have something more tactile. Because I've had nothing but 100% positive feedback from the young kids that have raced these cars. And the next question is, well, parents are saying, well, where can I get this? And so my objective, my mandate is to find somebody, a broker dealer, tell me how much I have to spend to get this product in here at a price point that at 40 cents on the dollar, it can be respectable and digestible to spend that money on the product.
See, my local store.
I've been in this mission for a while now, but just trying to get hold of the right people to get the right answers.
Yeah.
The people I've talked to, it's a really, really hush industry, man. Nobody wants to give you the free information. Nobody wants to direct you to the right person. And when you do talk to people that have the ability to move product to you, well, I mean, I just can't believe it. It's like you think they're dealing in narcotics or something. It's unbelievable.
Can I just chime in here? Because the way to become a customs broker, I looked into doing customs broking myself. Even if you became a customs broker, like you're accredited, okay, in order to start customs broking, you need to have, I don't know, like a ton of money. It might have been even $1 million. How much was it? Was a lot.
It had to do with the collateral.
It had to do with collateral. You had to like put down $1 million for collateral. So you're not going to do it. Like 99% of people cannot customs broke their own stuff. And that's the problem. It's a monopoly. And there's not many customs brokers in Canada for obvious reasons. So that's why you're not going to get very competitive pricing. Like the best you could do is import it yourself. And like I said, even that's a headache. Good luck.
Right.
I'm not being negative or anything. Like if you want to do it, do it. But I'm just saying, research bringing it over yourself, because the customs broker, in my opinion, is not the way to go. Like they don't care. They're not going to give a discount. They're the ones that can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm looking to find a distributor in the States. I like to go right to the source. I mean, if you can get closest to the source as you can, and give me a number that I have to spend to come down and pick my own product up and bring it across myself, and then I'll sell it. That's
But
where I'm at.
if there was a Canadian distributor, you wouldn't need to drive anything anywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So
but there's a magic number that will allow that to happen. And now you said that Abe has said that, there's not a market in Canada for their product.
right.
Well, there is, but the number, what's the magic number? We need to know the number because, if we join collectively, all the people there's people that love AFX, there's guys that like Auto World. Everybody has their choices. Guys that love the T-Jets, guys that love T-Jets. There's a market out there in the hobby, but there is a number, and a number that will satisfy the people that have the power to send this product out.
I do think there's a market in Canada, to be honest with you. I don't understand where AFX is getting their number from, because if you take a look at SCX primarily deals in Spain. Like, that's mainly where their audience is. That country has a population of 47 million. Canada is also a very slot car loving country. If you go to Toys R Us and stuff, you'll see, and we still have Toys R Us who are American viewers, you'll see Carrera Go sets all over the place. When I go to inside, even like Marshalls, I'll see some slot cars in there. And it's like Canada, our total population is 38. we're really not that much below Spain, and we're like right beside America. So Canadian distributors can sell to Americans like when they run out.
But then also, sorry, just to add, Carrera clearly thinks there's a market. That's why they have a Canadian distributor now.
Right.
I think AFX is just losing market share because they're falling behind. And like, normally Canada's not important. I'm not saying we're as much as America, but we're a good chunk of slot car sales because more people in Canada know what slot cars than an American does.
Somebody told me, well, it's all about, they only have so much money for marketing. So that's why, Canada's an afterthought. I've already described how they would get their marketing for free, but yet this is not something I've tried for 2 years straight to have AFX come on the show. And you know what that means? Free advertising, ladies and gentlemen, to the Canadian crowd of slot car enthusiasts who've all found me. But no, we do it the hard way, and this way, Canada, there's nothing in Canada. Well, how do you figure out your economics when everyone in Canada is buying their cars from the United States? How is it you're gaining any type of graphical knowledge, any mathical knowledge, if you want to call it? I'm really, I'm not a mathematician by any means. Certainly, I would never claim to be. Like I said, if you're not the smartest person in the room, make sure someone else is. That is with you. But yeah, this is just something this is an easy thing for me. Like, easy things like collaborations to get the hobbies going again, and this kind of stuff. These kind of things just aren't happening. Once again, it all boils down to how big their advertising budget is, and when they don't have any money left in their budget and a collaboration costs them nothing, I don't understand how come they can't afford that.
Well, it's risk reward, Dan. It's risk reward. So say AFX gets their cars made for $2 a piece. They ship them in. Now they're $3 a piece. Now they need a distributor. So the distributor's going to get it for $6. So the distributor's going to sell it for $25, $30. Yeah. Those are the numbers that you need to know. Now we're getting hit on 40 cents in the dollar compared to the American dollar. This is what scares investors away. Who's going to risk the $2 million and become a broker in Canada to find out that it's going to take you 20 years to move the product because you have to buy that much product in order to even start the venture.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
it's dollars and cents, but nobody wants to give you the person or the number. I'd rather be scared away with a number and let me do the math, because there's been guys in Canada that have gone down and considered, becoming brokers up here with AFX and Auto World. And when they crunched.
Did he mute or did we mute?
It scares them away.
Well, that's just it, right?
The dollar's killing us.
Well, to be honest with you, man, you're not going to want to become a customs broker right now. I'm going to tell you from personal experience that in the past couple of years, when I went to the customs office, it used to be full of small businesses. There used to be other people there. But the couple of years, it's been dead. There's no reason to become a customs broker right now. No one's bringing anything in. I get to the Canadian customs office. There's no line. I just put my sheets in and I go wait on the seat. I seen like maybe one or two truckers and a couple of years, keep this in mind, with bad paperwork. And where I'm from, the bridge is pretty busy. Well, it used to be pretty busy. Like it's dead. It's dead up here. Like I don't want to be negative, but like it's not a good time to be a customs. It's a good time to be a repo guy. I think if you're a repo guy, you're living the dream. But customs broking, that magic number is gonna be magic because it doesn't exist because there needs to be businesses open. And I'm sorry, but like all the small business in this country is dead.
Well,
hopefully after the election, some changes that'll make it a little more viable. Maybe the free trade agreement will change.
Well, I'd like to see more houses built because that's what makes slot car tracks appear is when you have basements to put them in.
That's right.
More houses and maybe cut back on the immigration policies.
Okay, I don't want to get that. Let's not get that far. I want to get spicy here. I got a new distributor. I don't want to be on a spicy stream.
Politics doesn't mix well with budget.
Okay, so before we dive into a swimming pool full of pudding, let's talk to Jesus. Let's talk to Steve for a minute. So tell us a little bit about the letter you sent to AFX, Steve.
Oh my God. I sent them a letter. Email.
We saw the letter.
Give us the page.
You see the letter on my community tab. I did this before when Tommy bought it, AFX, and they were retooling to make new molds or something for the track. I had all my club guys email everyone I raced with about making the track wider, and they didn't listen. They didn't do it. So it's been so many years since then, and I figured, let me ask them again. So I emailed them, and I asked them, just needs to be a 1/2-inch space in between the cars, that much more plastic. I said, it's not that hard. I guess they have to retool, but I'm saying the cars don't fit. I said, I had it started with my sister. She bought me a set. I said, we started racing. We made the track nicer. We made it, 4x12. We started racing. The cars the whole time are hitting together, knocking each other off for no reason. I said, it's always like this. I said, if you switched it and made it wider, they wouldn't do it. And I guarantee you, all the adults that have your track right now, if you made it a 1/2 inch wider, they would take their tracks down, buy it, and redo their whole tracks again.
Right.
But they're not going to listen. They don't care. Either that or they should start making the cars back the original size and make them handle better and go faster, but be small again. That's what I
I agree. I fully agree with that. And Tom, I agree with that too. It was a very good email. It was to the point. It shows that AFX could possibly be asleep at the wheel here for a moment. Because if cars carry it down this current road, well, where's the space, man? There's no room there already. You can see the cars not even touching the track.
I think they just need to make the cars smaller because honestly, AFX tracks are really good. Like I wouldn't want to. If I were them, I wouldn't want to change it either because like I have some old track here.
Too much room there.
The special track. They should just make the car like I don't think it's reasonable for us to ask them to change the track because I wish I had a modern
but you don't understand the track's been like this since the 60s. They couldn't change it. How many years is that?
Well, I mean I was going to say it's made to a higher standard. I find whoever's doing the molds, like redoing the molds, like this track here is really, really loose. It's like if I connect it up, this old AFS track. But the new one is so much harder to get to disconnect than that, right? Like this is AFX track here. So it's not like they did improve the quality of the track is what I was trying to get at. Like, yeah,
the quality of the track it has improved since 1960. The basic idea of the track, the layout, and everything is the same, but the track was redone in the 80s sometime.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
sure.
basically they've improved it in the 80s and it stood the same for all these years. They never did nothing ever again.
They tried
No.
to do the holographic pit box thing, but then like
Yeah, that
kind
was
of
a failure.
blew up in their face.
Now, do you think that AFX got the message when you sent them that letter? Do you think that is going to get a response saying that they addressed it, they thought about it, and this is what our solution would be, or we're not interested? What do you think's
Well,
going on with that?
Well, I emailed the lady I was dealing with, but Dan gave me some other top guy to email, so I emailed him that also and see what they get back. If they get back and say nothing about the track, I'm going to say the next scenario is then make the cars back the size they were when they fit on the track, but make them faster and handle
Well,
better.
it's going to
But they're
come down.
smaller.
It's going to come down to if their sales stall, then they're going to say, "Well, what do we need to do?"
Yeah, but
So
that's
people
just
in
the
their
thing,
cars
though.
and their sales keep going up, they're going to say, "Well, we don't have to change anything."
Yeah, that's the
Well, that's
problem. They
just
just
the
want to
thing,
make
Tim.
cars.
There's enough collectors that won't even open the cars that they'll be able to sell enough of them to make
That's
a
the
difference.
problem.
Look at me when I warranted those 3 in package cars and I got them all back not in a package. That was awesome. As a collector, that really stuck a boot in my ass, because what the hell am I going to do as a collector with 4 opened cars, right?
Yeah,
You were going to race them.
and
Nice
another
that they're
problem.
warranty, but they were in packages when they came. When I can't even get into it. It's just
The way-
really silly.
Poor,
Right.
The way I
No.
see it,
I understand why they do that, right? Because if this is the only problem, then why do they need to sell a whole car in package? But my cars were in packages when I warrantied them, and I got them all back out of a package, man.
I've never seen a creator with such bad luck, Dan. You just keep getting screwed in the HO scene.
I
No,
agree.
you know what it is?
I
It's just the
absolutely
fact that
same.
I won't put up with, I don't like crap. I'm a pretty honest person, and I think everyone deserves to know the truth, just like you, Bill. You know, everyone deserves to know the truth. And hey, this is not the flowery unicorn channel that's serving cookies that smell like strawberries in a spring breeze on the middle of a unicorn style day. This is not that channel. This is a channel where we come to talk about real stuff. We talk about things that are wrong and not hide them with a smile on our face so that we don't lose subscribers. We tell people how it is. And that's what people like. People like to hear. Sometimes getting smacked in the face is a lot better than getting punched in the face. Sometimes you just really got to, listen to the information, because lots of people don't want to listen to the information. And when the information's out there, you just need to gather it up and gobble it up. And that's why we're here. We're not making things up. This is not a fairy tale land. Like I said, there's always some good and some bad in the videos, the reviews, because that's just the way how it works. Sometimes it's a tragedy. I mean, even creators like Billy and Steve at BS Slot Cars. I mean, even they can laugh sometimes, where they probably literally want to tear their hair out, because something so easy is just taking completely forever. And it seems like this is absolutely crazy. How can this happen? Take so long, but we all do it and we push forward, because that's the way we are. All solid creators making great content for people. And it doesn't, like, if you ever wonder, about good reviews and bad reviews, have a look at maybe my review of the Ice Road Trucker set. That was a pretty honest review. I was pretty cheesed. It took me a long time to get those trucks to run at all, and I just and it was,
been shipping a lot of crappy product for a long time and getting away with it, right?
well, and that's another thing too, right? They diminished the product, that particular product, the semis. Over time, they've slowly altered the molds from what Aurora used to have, and
Yeah,
now
it
we
looks
have
roughly the same,
less
but
of a product.
We're talking about Auto World now?
roughly the same, but it's not quite.
oh,
Yeah,
Auto
Auto
World,
World, yeah.
forget it.
The
You know
semis,
why
any
AFX
semis to do with Auto World.
Let me tell you
Because
something. You know
Aurora
what?
used to own the semi mold, right? And then AFX, our Auto World, got the mold from Aurora, I'm assuming, and
They ruined it.
altered it dramatically.
It's
Crazy.
worse than the original. They're worse than the original.
Flamethrowers are the
Any
best example of that. Like,
Yes.
and they produced those
Yes.
flamethrowers for like from 2006 till 2022 when we complained about it. So
Yeah, the Tyco rigs run absolutely fantastic. They were really fun to drive. I remember driving them as a kid. Me and my brother, we'd cover them in popsicle sticks and play like Mad Max and stuff and smash them up together and stuff. But they were awesome. But I mean, the semis, Mike, you're wondering what the differences are? Well, you have the old style version of it now. Now you can put it up against a newer version, bro, and you can tell me what's wrong with it. I'll direct you towards the back wheels on the trailer. The axle's probably about a half an inch longer than it needs to be. So when the trailer goes around the corner, it literally just whips it right off like a slingshot.
I wouldn't say Auto World got away with it though. I think when you guys said that, they like there's a reason they're not releasing anything new. What, till the end of the year? Like they don't have anything new coming up for a while, and that's not a good sign.
It's a terrible sign.
there's a
Terrible
bunch of stuff
sign.
coming out.
Well, like I
There's
said,
some
Auto
pretty good
World's
stuff.
next best thing is the John Wick silver screens with the Blues Brothers police car with the horn on the roof. That's coming in HO. I'm kind of excited about that actually. And the John Wick cars, but I want to see something a little more than just like, you know, a Chevelle, right?
What's it gonna from AFX and a rep from Auto World to get onto this podcast and answer some questions from the people that are deep into this?
Nobody will. They've had 2 years of me sending letters and asking nicely and talking to them and becoming friends with everyone in the office. But yet, like I said, it's all about the free advertising and pushing the product. And I've been here for 2 years straight. The invitation was extended to whenever they had the time or anybody else has the time. Anybody from, I've asked Auto World to come on a whole bunch of times. Not a chance. No reply whatsoever. No reply.
There's a reason why
Auto World. At
There's a
least AFX warranties their stuff, and their office staff are nice. How they decide to sell their slot cars, that's obviously not up to me, or they would have a much bigger crowd in Canada for starters.
Well, the Carrera, what is the guide pin made out of?
For Carrera, just plastic.
Yeah, plastic.
It's a plastic guide flag, so it's longer.
It's pretty big though. It doesn't break.
No,
It would break on the 124s. Like I actually have the car right here. 1 second. Right here. So this 124 is notorious because they're so heavy. If you're racing in this scale and it wipes out, it can break. It doesn't always. It's not. It doesn't break very often. But if you went full tilt into a corner, like the 1x60 with this, there's no guide flag in this one. No.
So if they put a metal guide,
this one will break the guide flag on a big car. So 132s are generally.
So if they put a metal guide in that, would it make it better?
You could actually get some aftermarket. You could 3D print even a guide flag. It'll be good. There's some other people will print off 3D print some better quality guide flags, but to me, the regular Carrera one's fine. You actually get spares in your currently you get spares in your sets, and when you buy a car, there's some spare parts in it, and one of them's a guide flag. So you're okay. The flags, like I said, if you're racing 132, they're not a problem, but like 124 is when you can break. Like 124 is more of a serious scale. You know what I mean?
It's overextends. It doesn't necessarily. It's not.
Oh, I've snapped them.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I remember they slide out and hit real hard, like a force onto the track, like boom, with the guide, the big cars. Right. The little ones, the 132nd on my track, when I beat on them and fly around, sometimes the guide pops up out and spins around. The little 132nd will pop out.
Yeah, but they don't. The flag is usually okay on 132. I have that.
They don't break like the bigger ones though. They're heavy.
Yeah, if you're racing 124, it's more for an experienced driver.
Yeah.
AFX has metal guide pins, correct?
Yeah, little pins.
Now, I've never heard of any problem with those metal guide pins, but AutoWorld, their pins break constantly on their models. Why don't they put metal pins in there?
Same reason why their front axles are like freaking what are they, paper clip steel.
It's like
Yeah. Don't look at those axles. They're big.
Well, the good news for 132nd, if AutoWorld doesn't come to the party and improve their product, people are going to go to 132nd.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
You know what's funny? AFX ain't going to improve. You want to know why? Because back in the day, they had Lifelike, they had Marshawn, they had Tyco to compete with. Who they got to compete with now? Auto World.
Well, you see, that's a good thing too, because
that's not competition.
That's like we know we're better than Auto World.
Well, it's like AFX not capitalizing on the huge gap right now from that Auto World's created. Auto World hasn't put anything out, and they're still not going to be putting anything out until those cars from the John Wick don't come out until August, right? So AFX will already have the BRE, the Brock Racing Entertainment cars, Brock Racing Engineering, I believe it is. So they'll be out in June, and that's a very desired livery. It's like the it'll have as much hype as the 510s from Revo that just came out. That kind of hype around them, most definitely.
I'm telling you, with these Auto Worlds, these 4 gears, they work so crappy. Me and my sister were driving them. If they didn't have these 2 Neo magnets pressed in these, like the old AFX ones, you couldn't ride them. They'd fall out of the track by themselves. They actually wobble like this as you're riding them. They look like roller coasters. They're so bad. They're a joke.
I hate to say it, if Auto World waits too long, a lot of their collectors will be passed. They've got to start. They got to start entertaining the younger generation. They got to start looking at liveries that are going to attract the younger generation. Even
like these,
the JDMs, right? If they don't, I'm going to tell you, the collecting base is dying, literally.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
it is, and it's up to it's like not really up to anybody to do anything about it.
And I'm in the category, by the way. I mean, every day's a plus.
Yeah,
I just think kids don't even race slot cars. If you notice every channel on YouTube when they hold a race, even professional guys, they're all gray hair.
Yeah.
No young kids. I used to race them in my 20s.
This is what kills me, because every young person that I've given a track to, it's over the moon with it, and their cars. But they want to be able to go and online and buy and shop and get their friends. And you know what, spend thing. It's if the parents aren't into it, it's going to be another toy. Oh, thank you. Give me the next one.
Yeah, I found that the kids today, if I have RC cars and I'm running them, if they had it in a video game, they would rather play the RCs in a video game than go out and run them in the dirt. That's just what I found.
Well, we figured the young generation, the average teenager makes 5 million. The average teenager makes 5 million texts per month on their phone. So in 20 years from now, people won't even each other. So the whole world is changing.
I don't know. Right?
And what is slot cars? You got a car, but get up and go get that car and put it back on the track. When they're on a video game, all they do is hit reset. The car's back on the track.
Yeah.
I feel like people look for hobbies,
world, right?
I feel like people look for hobbies that aren't video games, though. Like board games got a lot more popular.
Yeah.
Look at collectibles. Like Warhammer got a lot more popular too from the pandemic, and slot cars benefited and are still benefiting from the pandemic. I really just think it's bad. It's really just bad marketing. And honestly, if I was marketing for slot card companies. Instead of going for old school marketing, I would be doing a lot of social media stuff.
Yeah.
Scholetric, I really liked Scholetric's marketing before. They had like a actual show going on and everything. I'm not too sure what they do now. I watch the YouTube Shorts once in a while, but yeah, I think just concentrating on social media creators would be the best way to go. And I kind of puzzled why nobody does it.
Right.
It's so, really weird.
AFX has a sit down with the creator who doesn't even have an HO track and talks about HO. It's interesting, but it's good that it's getting out there
too.
But I just think it's just so easy to look at somebody's subscriber count and go, "Oh, that person's going to be perfect." You want to get yourself in that right category. I think.
Just make sure to do some due diligence on that subscriber count. A little background check, make sure everything's legitimate.
Yeah.
No
Ricky
apologies for that video release, by the way, guys. Straight up.
That's right, Ricky Bobby. Yeah, no, we won't be doing any replays, but that was a really good video, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You can check it out on our channel. We're very proud of it.
Yeah.
Why don't buy subscribers?
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. So, Baby Pop, are you subscribed to Shen RC?
It's funny. I want to say something.
He's got the biggest RC channel that I know. Not that I know many, but he's got a good one.
There's
good.
some huge ones.
There are some RC cars on his channel, I think. Isn't that what you do?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, there's only a few.
Yeah. Oh, look at Steve. You're welcome, brother.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched Shen RC once or twice when I was looking up RC stuff. So
yeah, lots of cool stuff there, guys. I'm just shitting around. Steve's got a really good channel. Lots of cool. The Ripsaw is that's my favorite, bro. That's definitely my favorite. So
I just posted up a lunchbox, the Tamaya lunchbox, and I kind of do the old 80s, 70s commercial. You ever see them with the Tamaya plastic models, #1?
Yeah.
So I'm a media grad, and we used to literally make fun of 60s and 70s commercials because they always had like the explosions everywhere, like check out this product.
Yeah.
It's literally was an example of what not to do.
And it's like a voice from a defense industry, old 60s. This is your safety meeting. You're in class in the 60s and you hear this guy. It's like the Lost that in the Lost there when they finally find the cave with the countdown timer in it. I don't know if you guys know Lost or whatever. To ended up turning into a complete shit show. But man, getting to that shit show was awesome. Good show. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. That's all good.
Question for Sunday Slot Cars.
Sure.
What social media vehicle works best for you to finding people?
It's interesting. It's interesting. We had a sponsor recently come out to reach out to us, and we thought it was because of the live show, but they actually brought up it was because of the shorts. So
through YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Wow.
No, YouTube.
Good for you. There must be great shorts.
YouTube Shorts is very effective.
Mhm.
The thing about long form is I need people to understand. Okay, look, I'm going to keep making long form, but when you're talking about like when some of the most popular soccer channels are getting like maybe like 2 to 3K on their long forms, it's like peanuts. That's not really great. You know what I mean? But the YouTube Shorts, we were talking about. So our average used to be 2K, but we've increased it to 3K for our average. But now we get like some 6K, we get some 20K sometimes. Those are the big boy numbers, especially when you're a store. We're advertising. Like we get, for example, Princess Peach video we released had a really strong female viewership, And that's a bunch of people that didn't even know about slot cars. So it really helps us out when we reach a new audience because I mean, it's great because honestly, you guys are like, oh, slot cars need to do like more social media advertising and everything. But I'm like, you know, we're like one of the only ones doing it. So all the money goes to us. That's great. Thanks. Like,
I admire what you guys are doing, man. You got 5 years. That's fantastic. I mean, you've got something working for yourself. Have you guys sent any marketing to TikTok?
We released TikTok videos.
We do have some through TikTok, but it's.
Are you getting any action off it?
I'm not too sure. We haven't really researched too much of where people buy it from. We will do ask people once in a while.
TikTok.
Amanda has been very lazy at TikTok. That's honestly the truth. Amanda's been lazy at
your
TikTok.
shorts would fit on
there. Disappear. Don't put any effort into TikTok. It's going to disappear.
Well, I know
I was just saying because he's got his shorts. They're working for him. That's what TikTok is. TikTok are short.
U.S.
They are shorts. You're right. No, you're right.
Because ByteDance is owned by a Chinese company. Freaking out. It's not gonna go. The U.S. senators are about to smash the shit out of TikTok right away.
Somebody can replace that though. I mean,
I mean, people just float to the other platforms. That's all.
I think a lot of people could just VPN if they really want to go on TikTok. Just say you're in China. You know what I mean? So
they're not going to make money though. They're not going to make money though.
Right?
They're the Chinese company. They can make money from. They're like they don't care. They have the Mandarin. You know what I mean?
No, it's because there's a TikTok fund for like Americans. So that's how they get their money.
Yeah, but TikTok creators don't make much
unless you go viral.
You have to sell out, which we will absolutely do. So if you're a sponsor and you're like, oh, I'm looking for someone to advertise, Amanda and I will sell out. We'll do it.
I'm your man.
It has to be a good deal, though.
Yeah, it has to be a good deal.
Right.
If Walmart launched a Carrera set, would that help you?
If it was Carrera Go, I'd say yeah. I mean, really, okay, I'm just gonna say yes. Like the truth is, any slot car advertisement, it's gonna help and right now. So like, there's a sweet spot where once we start getting enough competition, that's when things are gonna get like tight because we're gonna have to like be really, really competitive with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, turn that on. Yeah. But right now, I'd say growing the market would help everybody out right now. Like especially because they're collectible. I mean, if you need a slot car and it's sold out other places, you're coming here, right? So I'd say yeah. If Walmart had releases a Carrera set, that would help us out for sure.
And that's a major bonus too, right? Because you supply guide braids and other parts for the cars, for the tracks, for accessories, and they got to get them into the stores. That's the deal. That's plain and simple the deal. Same with AFX and the Auto World. Get in the retail store, right?
AFX really confuses me.
You got to get into Walmart.
It's funny though because years ago, by the stores by me, like Toys R Us, Kmart, when they had all them stores had AFX tracks. Now no one has none of that. Only hobby stores. So they must have. I think because it slowed down.
Really they've got Hot Wheels and they got M2s and NASCARs in there, and it really, really missed me that they haven't brought a slot car set. Maybe it's because the kids are into videos. I don't know.
These days, it's talking about what needs to be done to get kids into the industry is like banging your head against the wall, because it's adults making videos for adults, and the kids are 100%. When you think about it, the kids are the second thought. I know everybody says the kids are the first thought, but they're not. Okay, first off, the kids are important. Yes, absolutely. But let me tell you what makes sense. First off, the kids don't buy it. The parents do. The parents got to drive them and get the kids interested in it. So the chances are the parent already has interested the kid in some way, one way or another. Now that would probably be through videos, or usually the kids played the slot car track at a friend's place, or who has the same type of idea and brings that idea home. Basically, I'm guessing that transferring slot car like usage to children needs to be more electronic inclusive. For us, an analog track with 2 cars and 2 controllers was so much fun. But for a 2020s kid, that is, I can tell you right now, that is, use the S word, not good.
Yeah.
Where,
You know, I
They
don't.
needed that virtual pit thing with all the holograms and all that to get them into it. That's how
I kind
kids
of-
are.
I kind of
So-
don't think that's kind of the problem. I think a lot of parents just want to do free, cheap things. Like they want, like that's why they have Netflix. Like when
Right.
I'm not going to name any names, but we've gone over to some people's houses where they just throw the Netflix on for their kid the whole time.
Right.
But like the thing is, when I go around Sarnia, because I was obviously looking after our kids when I work from home, and I go to the events and stuff. There's like nobody there.
Right.
Like parents just don't want to go out and do anything, and they don't want to spend any money. And like I'll hear it sometimes because we run the slot car track. We have, for people who don't know, we have a physical store as well as an online store. So I'm at the physical store. Some people are like, "Oh, you charge too much money for the rental cars," and I'm like, "Dude, it's $4.
Right.
It's like $4 per person. If that's too much for you, like I'm not giving it for free. You know what I mean? It's like it's if I put that in an arcade, it's gone in like 2 minutes." So like parents, it's really, I wouldn't blame the kids. People say that the kids, you need to shift your mind. We need to market to the adults that this is going to keep your kids out of your hair for a few hours. That's really, when I buy a toy for my children, that's what the deal is. I'm buying the toy and I expect it to keep them out of my hair for a few hours. And that's what slot car companies need to start doing, is marketing to the parent, not to the child, to the parent, and be like, hey, free up some time.
And just a comment on this comment by Baby Pop, slot car and movies. If you remember, John Travolta and Mia Wallace go to Jack Rabbit Slims, and they do that famous dance. Everyone knows. I'm not going to start singing it or anything.
We want to see it.
When they walk into that restaurant, there's an 8-lane slot car track that he totally walks over and looks at, and I never even noticed it until I got back into slot cars again, and then I was like, what? Absolutely. Make sure you guys check it out. It's in Pulp Fiction when John Travolta takes Mia Wallace to Jack Rabbit Slims. As soon as they walk in the door, the first scene is John Travolta walking up to this massive 132nd track. So it's absolutely cool. Awesome that you mentioned that. Thank you for the lead, and I appreciate it. And hell yeah, this is my show. Screw it. I'll say shit. No.
Well, I think it's a good. I think it.
Nobody
Dan,
say shit. Sorry, carry on. Don't say shit. Were you gonna say shit?
I know a word you can't say.
What?
G-U. Another Brian Young has been really. That has been. You want to talk about what's good for the hobby? The drama that Brian Young and Pro Ticker Toys has been creating against YouTube has been a beautiful thing to watch. I gotta say, Brian, I love you, but if you keep poking the bear, you're gonna lose that hand.
Oh my gosh!
It's gonna be more than just a temporary live stream banning. Like you're gonna get actually banned. Like stop doing it.
Yeah.
You have somebody knocking at the doors.
Yeah, pew pew. You can't say that word.
It's so funny. I'm literally, and now he's got Channel 3.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, he's also streaming on his original one now, isn't he?
I don't know. He might have got banned again. He said the G word again today.
Yeah, because he's talking with a hand puppet. I'm like, Brian, where's your hand?
That's me. I was at work, so I didn't watch it.
No, yeah, it's just he's at war, and good luck to him.
Yeah, he's well, it's not a war he can win. It's just it's somebody. There's two factors going on there. Somebody's probably originally actually reported him, and now they're just keeping an eye on his channel.
Once the flag's been raised, it's
because if he's not careful, he'll get strikes that he won't be able to remove. and 3 of those, and the channel goes away. He won't be able to use his IP address or anything like that. You can't just go around it and start, oh, I have the opportunity to make 3 YouTube channels. They're not going to let you go, oh, now I'm on channel 2. No, bro. You have no channel because they've striked your being in YouTube down. You know, and he's got 10,000 subs, so he's making some money off his live streams because he's streaming all day with like 25 people on.
Yeah,
Every couple
honestly,
He
hours
does
a
great.
day,
He does.
right? So, see, that's what I mean. Like, he says he's going to channel 2. Channel 2 has 200 subscribers. He's not making any money from channel 2. Not to mention people from channel 1 can't find channel 2.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't
So
know what
he
he's
just
on.
lost all that revenue by moving all those people, and half of them aren't tech savvy because they're these people who are the majority of the HO people right now, where, you know, it's just most of us, I'm 50, so I'm like sort of right on the line of where technology was here or not here, and then now it is, right? Because I've seen all the phones, bro. I've seen the rotary, the dial, the cord, the cordless, you know, you name it. Phone-wise, all of us here have been through all of it. All of the phones. We've all been through them, except maybe that, you know what I mean? Like, nobody, I'm sure, used the crank phone here, but the rest of
I did.
You know what?
I
Yeah.
did for real.
Oh boy, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
I don't remember. I remember one of our houses was really old that we had lived in. Because I don't know, maybe because of Sarnia, right? There's like all old homes here. We didn't have a new build, so I was using a rotary phone. It took forever.
There's talking about the crank.
No, we had it. It was
It was
yeah.
the one that's on the wall, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it had like it took forever.
Okay.
There's a restaurant here that has a rotary dial phone. And I asked them, like, how are you able to use it? They actually have to use it through a fax line. So because of how it works these days, it can't be used through a normal phone line because it's all digitized, and this phone just doesn't interact with that. So it's kind of like, you know, we got to go back to the major, you know, the
government's talking getting rid of fax line. They're not going to have that available if they get rid of fax.
Right.
Yeah, getting rid of the fax lines.
Man.
For a couple of years.
And yet, if you're a Bell customer, you get to pay a premium for touch tone.
Right.
Isn't that special? I mean,
the phones in Canada, like the phone plans in Canada and everything, is so corrupt and messed up. It's honestly, that's like that could be a whole
phone plans in the world.
Yep.
We pay the most for cell service than anybody else in the world.
Yeah, because we're trapped into a certain amount of companies, whereas in the States, there's like, what, 10 major companies, Horizon, all that kind of thing, you know, like, we don't have any of that here. Our competition bureau is absolutely out the window, you know, especially when, you know, like in the States, there's how many places you could, you know, insure your car. Here in Manitoba, we have one place, and it's called Manitoba Public Insurance. Wow. If you want to drive your car, you will use their insurance because there is no other option, which by law is against the Canadian rules of competition. There's always supposed to be a competitor. That's why the Manitoba Liquor Commission, once again, run by the, you guessed it, government, and no competition for private sales.
Hazard County. You know, the Duke's Hazard County.
Right.
Not right.
You know, we need some moonshine running here. And I already talked about what I thought about them taking the rebel flag off the General Lee, right? Now we're back into talking about unicorns and flowers and the smell of strawberry.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Like, we got a little too woke over there, Auto World. Easy. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Well,
but generally speaking, Canadians.
Well, this has certainly been valuable for me. I don't know about you guys, but it's been valuable for me to listen, and it really sparked some good ideas. One of the ideas I like is when I get this thing launched, but I need product before I can launch the website, is I'm going to try a commercial in the movie theaters. And it's going to be a slot car track racing with girls and boys racing these cars with parents. And it's going to be a 30-second spot. And I'll just smash that thing for a month straight every day.
Right.
I'll see what that does. Because
Well, have
people
you
in the
seen that
movie,
track that gets
you'll
settled?
get their attention.
Yeah.
You do it at Christmas. You do it at Christmas time, man. It'll work.
I have to say, for me and my sisters starting to do the races the way we do them, I had so many people contact me. Oh man, that's so much fun. We're going to get out our old slot car tracks. They all want to, a lot of people said they want to get into it from watching because it's like we go crazy. You've seen our videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a lot of nice comments and good feedback where I think I actually, from doing the videos, getting people to want to race slot cars, it's actually doing good.
Right.
So, yeah, I got a lot of nice
well,
feedback.
it's moving along. There's no question about it. And, videos like the ones you make, Steve, where you're putting all size cars on the large scale track
yeah.
really
I got
key.
a lot of people into that. There's a lot of guys racing different ones now.
I've had one guy tell me, I put away my HO track and now he's able to pull his HO cars out and run them on the Carrera track, man. Absolutely fantastic. When you got the cars dialed nicely, and some of them just work really nice to start with. But it's actually very enjoyable. If you've never tried it or seen my video for it, please check them both out. I mean, I'm going to be sending Dan 3Bean a couple of AFX cars. He's mostly for the most part, he's 132nd. He's involved in the Global Racing League with Raul at Conquest Racing, and he's a member of mine. So he thought it was cool. Hey, this is what we do, right? This is how we get people to know the product, to like the product, to enjoy it. So for the cost of the couple AFX cars for me, I can show Dan what AFX has. And not only that, because I'll be giving him 2 cars, one for his Carrera track and one just still in the package, so that he can take the in-package car to his son's house, Danny, at Danny's slot car garage, Dick's slot car garage. And he's got an HO track, so father-son can battle it out for a while, and both be able to enjoy it with their own cars instead of him going over and having to use the son's cars. He can bring his own over and say, "Now we go, bro," our son. So very good. And this is what you want to start doing family-wise. Like for me and my wife, it's kind of like, well, we're racing today. We're into it, so here's Warren. Warren, how you doing, brother? Thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. So they're definitely, slot cars unquestionably are heading in a more positive direction now. I do think that distributor has to be found, and I'm sure if enough somebody actually got on it, they would see that there is enough crowd now. All of my AFX stuff, I no longer collect AFX cars. I'm now, I'm not a collector. I'm a user. So I'm a user. Yeah, I'm a user. So I'll buy the car. I'll review it. I'll drive it on my track, and it won't go on the shelf. It'll be a car that I drive. Or if I don't like it or think it belongs in the collection, I'll just sell it on my eBay. That's AFX_man if you guys are interested in checking it out. Not much left there. It's almost all gone now, man. I tell you, when you have good stuff, it doesn't sit around for long. So, but the reason being is because of all the mistakes. I think to myself, as a collector, just taking the GT40, for example, as a collector, somebody says to me, hey, for the cars you have, probably came from the first run, and all the wheels are touching the well at the back. So because the AFX has clamshell, I could see right through it. I could see all the cars are like that. But in order to get them warrantied, I get them all sent back, not in packages. So as a collector, that bombed me. Really, it bombed me because when I tell you I pay $85 at my door for every AFX car I buy, and
That's
that's a cheap one.
crazy.
That's a cheap one, bro. That's if I
That's
get shipping for
crazy.
$20, right? Because I'm always paying $54.99 or more for an AFX car, and usually it's or more.
That's
It's the
crazy.
shipping that kills us. And then, of course, if I order it for certain places, I then have this is where we're leading into right now. This is where Canada Customs or Canada Post is standing at my door with my package with their handout wanting more money.
I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but there's a huge exodus of Canadians going to other countries because of all the tax breaks that they're going to get if they leave here. Mostly the retired people and stuff. They're giving them some amazing deals, and we're just getting taxed so badly here. Having a hard time raising a family. It's really, we're in the worst possible place we've been in the history of Canada when it comes to affordability. And when talking about slot cars, it's just another. Well, they're toys, and it's another product that they're making it almost impossible to enjoy.
Yeah. Well, I seen
know-
Dan bought some 132nd cars, and I think he paid what, 150? Did you say, to get them in?
Yeah, for the
Oh.
Revo slots, it's $180 at my door is what the car costs.
$180 over here by me. You could buy a nice, ready-to-run RC car, 10 scale, for like 150. That's insane. You're paying that much for those.
Right.
It's
I don't know how.
crazy.
Here it is. It's LEB. I bought all my cars from LEB, so 110. And then there's $32 bonding fee, and then there's I think it was $30 something shipping. So
That stinks.
A lot of these slot car companies won't even get back to you if you're Canadian, though. So that's
Right.
That's part of the reasons why you can't re-import them,
Auto
is
World,
because they just can't do it.
Jag
It's not just
Hobbies
Auto World. It's
or
like
OS3 or whatever that company is. They weren't willing to service the chassis they sold me, so I gave them away. See,
That's
another
crazy.
advertising scenario gone to shit. Because
That's a
why
lot
the
of
guy
money
doesn't
for
want
a
to? He
slot
doesn't want to
car.
send me the fucking nut that holds the chassis, the shell to the chassis. He doesn't want to send it to me. He's suggesting that because I'm Canadian, I would be better off sourcing it here in Canada. That part that he didn't send to me when he should have, when he sold me the car. So then I'm like, listen, how about you just send me those parts and you let me worry about how much I want to pay for it, not flat out say absolutely not. You can source them somewhere and doesn't return any more emails.
I don't know why you just letter mail it. It's just a nut, right? You could just send it over letter mail.
Only need two, bro.
Yeah.
I only bought 2 chassis. He could literally put them, like you said, he could put it in a Christmas card and dump the 2 screws right in there and then snap it together so that the cardboard forms around the screws and then send it to me. I don't know.
You know, but it's bad. It's just bad PR. If you rip off a
Yeah.
Canadian, they're still getting a negative video about you made, and then it's gonna affect you for America too. So I don't know. I would have just sent it a Christmas card.
It just didn't make sense to me. Like I always said, like, you know, if somebody wants to pay, something's only worth whatever somebody will pay for it, right? You know, you can have this big grandeur thought in your mind that this slot car you have is worth $300. But you could put it up for auction and maybe be lucky if it breaks the price you paid for it.
I don't know about you, but if I had to pay 180 for one of these, I wouldn't pay it. That's insane.
Right. Is that which car is that though?
That's the Racer Sideways. They're expensive. They're like
Oh, yeah.
$80 or something, but I had to pay double or more.
It's not. It's because of dollar value sucks
bad.
here.
Right.
That's bad for you guys. I hear this all the time with the RC guys. They're like, "Oh, that's a nice RC. We could get it like for an arm, 150 ready to run." Not here. It's like $280. My car,
Yeah.
holy
Yeah.
smoke! It's
So
bad.
I want to thank Doug. Thank you very much, Doug. I absolutely appreciate it. Anybody who would like to become a member, all of my member money goes towards my channel and stuff you can tangibly see. Not the headliner for Billy's video 2 months back.
Now, Dan, do you have a show where you'll answer all the people's questions that they where you'll take a show and you just answer questions?
Mhm. Yeah.
That
Billy's good at that though. Billy's good at that. Billy likes doing the question. Everybody knows my story. I'm an asshole, and I tell it how it is. See?
Well,
What was that?
you're lucky you have Sunday slot cars. Buying cars, though.
Well, you
I'm
know,
lucky to have Amanda.
if you want the real deal, you come to my channel, right? I don't sell flowers and unicorns over here, so it's all good. But I do bring good information, and I definitely bring the slot car community together. Look at all of us here chatting for the last hour and a half. All different creators. We got all different scales. We have a good conversation going on. Anybody in the comment section right now have a question for anybody here? Geez.
Somebody asked if we should start a smuggling ring.
Yeah, I thought about that one. And then he mentioned
Think about it.
Listen, I don't think you should start a smuggling ring for slot cars. Start it for plastic straws, please. I'll pay good money for disposable plastic straws.
Back in the 70s, there used to be all kinds of things falling off the back of trucks, and people were getting stuff at a third of the price of the retail. Right? Maybe that's the solution. Slot cars.
Okay, so because of my 500,000th view, I just want start digging, Dan. Yeah, no kidding. I'm going to be doing a giveaway next Monday. So for everybody who's here right now, you'll know that there's a giveaway, and anybody who's going to watch this later, I guess they'll know there's a giveaway, and anybody who doesn't will miss out. So the giveaway will be a prize I've already mentioned, and an upgrade to that prize, and maybe something else. I'm working on it. But there'll be something available for both HO and 132nd. So this could go kind of strange where somebody ends up with something they don't have, or somebody who has both ends up with some pretty cool stuff. So that's all I got to say. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Well, you know what one of them is already. It's the Carrera rear axle pit kit with the upgraded axle bearings. Fantastic. It was suggested to me by whatever his name is from Slot Invasion. It's escaping me right now. I want to say Carlos. Is that right? Does anybody know? So Slot Invasion suggested, I'd already bought some for myself, but they gave me a set to try out, and I'm going to give that away with the rear axle set for the Carrera DTM cars. And I think it might be able to be used for any inline motor. Don't take my word on it. I'm certainly not the the top word on anything 132nd. I just like to talk sometimes. Let's just say if I knew what I knew, if I knew as much about 132nd as I did HO, well, it would be very interesting. But I don't. So I'll be giving that away, and of course, everybody needs to make sure that you're there, and I'll have big lineup. Not necessarily creators or that sort of thing, but I'll definitely have a good quality guest. Jesus, I don't even know how to say this. Let's just say just be there, damn it. Shit, just be there. Oh, don't say shit. Nobody say shit. We're at this again. All right. So anyways, the night has come to an end. We've had a pretty good conversation about what's going on with Canadian slot cars. I think we've all come to the consensus that, hey, maybe it is time now, whether they should have already moved on it or not. Maybe now's the time. It feels right. We have different size creators here saying the same thing. I have people on all of my social medias talking about this. It might be some subjects that they can't find answers to because, well, there's a lot of channels that don't want to disrupt things out there, and I get that. That's all good. Once again, stick to the people who are not lying to your face. That's all I got to say. So, once again, Tim at TJG Slot Cars, our Canadian HO slot car guy tonight. Thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate it.
I appreciate being on.
Billy and Amanda, Sunday Slot Cars. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your opinion. It's always nice to hear from Canadian stores. I absolutely appreciate what you guys got going on, and I thank you very much for that. And just as creators, I thank you for your friendship. Thank you very much. Awesome.
It's always nice to be on.
Robert Fish, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you being here. Not so much involved tonight, but your night, you have your nights where you're the star. I mean, you know a lot more than me. I just sort of try and look good. Like I say, if you're not the smartest chap in the room, make sure you bring the smartest chap with you. So, Robert, thank you very much. Steve for DS Slot Cars, brother, your stuff, your shit is so entertaining. I like that. I think everybody likes what you got going on there. Absolutely fantastic racing in all scales on his Ninko track, correct?
Nope. Molly car.
Molly car. So we've clarified that now, and I'm just gonna go out back and stand in the cold for a while. And he's also got Shen RC, so if you're into RCs, please make sure you check that out. But for everybody who's here tonight in the comments, I want to thank you all very much. And I certainly want to thank everybody for helping me get to this momentous occasion of 500,000 views. Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. And we'll talk to you all very soon.
I just want to make one comment.
Hold on, nobody go anywhere. Stop. Everybody stop. Hang on.
Stop.
I hope we don't have to resort to digging a tunnel under the border to bring these cars in.
Okay, aren't there literally some places in Canada where you could just walk across to the border?
There are.
That's that place.
We're way overcomplicating this.
That place in Quebec, bro. You just walk across.
I mean, at 40 cents to the dollar, it almost makes like it would be viable.
Right? You see, here they don't build tunnels, though, man. They'll build them a bridge, bro, and pat them on the back on the way in.
Oh, God. Fly drones to pick up slot cars.
That could work.
Need a bigger suitcase, I heard. We're digging. Tom's already digging. Awesome. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thanks for joining me on
good night, everyone. It's fun with you guys.
Monday Night Slot Car Live. And we'll see you all next week. Thanks, guys.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.